Good morning. Welcome to Crafting Unedited. This is, excuse me, I'm losing my voice today. Definitely the weather changing on me. So today we are going to kind of start where I left off with the previous Cricut introduction video. I actually have a shirt that I'm working on. It is a lot of fun. I'm very excited to show you. So today I am working on an Ursula necklace for an iron-on for a costume for a friend of mine. And I'm sorry if you cannot see me. I am learning the normal side of the camera instead of working with forward-facing camera like I normally do. It gets a better picture and hopefully better quality for you. So I apologize if you can't see me. I can't see me, so this will be fun. So for today, we already recapped what you need, but I will go over it again. Iron-on HTV vinyl. I do have some here. It is in a pretty purple glitter for said Ursula necklace. I already cut the, shell part of the necklace, and this is, whoops, throwing it at you. See? This is what it looks like. So this will go on the, main part of the necklace. And this will be for the pearls, the purple pearls. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in Design Space really quick. Once it decides to load. So you need your HTV Cricut sticky mat. I tried the non-Cricut ones and they are not that great. They actually stick a little too much for me and they don't last as long. And if you go on Amazon, you can get these for there's something on here, $6 for 3 of them. Not bad at all. But you definitely need a sticky mat and you'll see why in a little bit. And I use either a really good pair of scissors or my slicer tool. Very handy, very comfortable to use. These are not so comfortable to use for me. Better than other ones that I have used by far. So, we start out by having everything measured out. And I'm going to do that in just a minute. But first, I'm going to show you what it looks like in Design Space. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to go behind and see if you can see that. You can kind of see it. So this is what it looks like in Design Space. Just the purple pearls I have lined up where I wanted them with, they did have this. So if you use the little eye feature over here in the corner, I don't know if you can see that, but you can add and hide things. See? I have the shell there, and you can take it away just like that. Super easy, and it won't go into the cut pattern. So I have it lined up the way that I wanted it for the shirt. Not sure that it's going to stay that way, but to keep it in design and scale with the shell, I had to do that. So to make it, we're just going to go to make it up here in the corner. Click on that. And then see how it aligns all at the top. That makes it super easy for cutting and so that you don't waste a lot of material. Then you just select, we do want to select the mirror. Mirror is for iron-on because you're going to want to reverse the image so that when you put it on the shirt, it's in the right direction. I have failed at this a few times. I tend to forget to put that mirror feature on, so you want to make sure that that's on. For this, it doesn't really matter because they're just circles, but for things like the shell or for words, you definitely want that turned on because if you don't, then you're going to have backwards wording on your shirt. And if they can read that, great. It means they're more intelligent. So once you see that you have your mirror on, you're going to hit continue. And it's connecting to the Cricut. Set this down. It's lightweight, but it's heavier than it seems, especially when holding it with one hand. All right, so that is all set to go for the computer part. Now we're gonna measure out our vinyl. I'm sorry if I stepped away into the non-lighting. I super duper taped this so that it wouldn't go. I hate rolls of vinyl. It drives me insane, but it is the easiest to store without having to have mass amounts of storage space. Smart Me puts rubber bands on them, but you know, I don't always have rubber bands down here. Let's see, how much do I need? I need 2 inches by a little over 9 inches. So this little piece here probably won't work. I don't think it's long enough. Nope, definitely not long enough. So we're going to, what I do is I cut the little remnant off and I will just start fresh. For me, it's easier to just start fresh because then I don't have any wonky like edge pieces that I can't use in a future order. Using edges is way easier, especially if they are semi-square and semi-straight. See, that is definitely not straight, but whatever. You get my point. It's easier to use if it's not in like a wavy, curvy angle. All right. Now that I have my semi-straight, so you want to make sure that you, with HTV or iron-on, for those that are not crafters, you want to make sure that the shiny side goes onto the mat, because this is the vinyl, the matte side is the side that is going to be glued, per se, onto your product. So you want to do shiny side down. This is the side that's going to show on the shirt, but this is the side that has the glue part. So you want to just align it onto your mat here. Make sure that it all sticks. I have been utterly burned before by non-sticky mats. Trust me, keep the investment. I failed miserably at trying to re-sticky my mat. Won't ever try that again. So just buy new ones. Use the old ones for, I use it for cardstock because you don't need it to stick as rough, and it works pretty well. It's like a light sticky mat. There are different grips of mat. There's light, standard, strong, and then heavy, and then there's the fabric one. Many options. I typically go for the standard grip unless I'm using a thicker glitter HTV, then that stuff is hard to read. So I have measured out lengthwise, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the whole length of my roll here, and then I use a ruler just because it's, you know, straight. And I actually don't have this straight on the mat. Give me 1 second. This is OCD. It does not have to be straight on the mat. I am just crazy about stuff like this. All right. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna measure my 9 across and cut it, going 2 down. So the sticky mat has little guides here, and you can see the numbers. Oh, you can't see the numbers on top, but there are numbers on the top and on the side so that you can measure. And the guide on In Design Space has the exact same measurement tools. Has a ruler on the X and the Y axis. So I just take my ruler, flip it around, go down to 2. I don't need all the way to 2, but I like to give myself some wiggle room, just in case. Alrighty. And then with this, because I am using glitter HTV, you have to give it a lot more push down. You have to push down with a little bit more force than you do with the regular HTV. It's just a little bit thicker. So I hold my ruler in place and I cut away. Don't mind my hot messness. I'm getting, again, it is my normal time to get my workout on. See, this is what happens if you don't press hard enough. You can see where I kind of pushed away from it a little bit. It sticks. So yes, there are much easier ways of doing this, but I like to make life difficult. So what I do is I just go back through, kind of try to follow the line. Also, this is crafting unedited, so I do not edit out the parts that I F up. The other thing is, they don't tape it to the thing. This is ridiculous, so I can't twirl it to make it go back in properly. Please, tape it like you would a wrapping paper. If any of the Cricut or Sizer people are watching. All right, I'm gonna set that off to the side. Take a drink of my pre-workout. All right, so I have my very roughly edged cut product here. And so see how the like non-shiny side, I don't know if I'm blocking the light, the non-shiny side here is facing upward, which means the shiny side is on the mat. So I'm going to clear my workspace in front of the Cricut. Make sure that everything is out of the way, because if not, it is going to get in the way of the feed. Then I'm going to select iron on, which it's already selected on my Cricut. And we're going to feed it into the machine. Now, because you see how I have like this part here is above the sticky. The only part that's sticky is inside of the squares. This is above, so I'm gonna have to kind of guide it in so that the things don't catch it. And you'll watch me do that. I need to clean my machine. So to start the process of the cut, you just hit this flashing arrows. I think that you guys can see that. Let me double check here. A little bit. All right, so the flashing arrows means that it's ready to be fed. It's hungry. Hungry, hungry Cricut. All right, so just push that little button there. And then I make sure that all of my grippies have caught it. And then the flashing Cricut logo means it's ready to cut. And then it'll cut. So this won't take very long at all because it's not a very detailed cut, which is why I chose this to show you guys. Sometimes these cuts can take a little bit longer. It is very quick though. It does do a pretty darn good job at, and I almost said an explicit word there. It does do a really good job at being very time efficient. For detailed cuts, it takes maybe like 5 minutes compared to 30 seconds. But that's for very detailed cuts where you're doing more than one image, swirls and words and lots of crazy things. So it is done. Quick, easy, right? You just hit the flashing arrows again and it pulls it out. Then what I like to do is I peel it off, especially with the glitter HTV, because it is really hard to see where it cut. And I try to find where the last one ends, and the last one ends right here. You can see right there. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm trying to show you. And what I do is I cut off any non-necessary pieces. You'll see why in a second. So again, scraps can be a lifesaver. Just gonna go through here really quick, find any pieces that are not necessary, and cut them all off. These may have been too big. Jess, I hope you're watching this because you're gonna have a pretty sweet, pearly, purpley necklace for your Ursula costume. Very big. That's part of the difficulty. Like, it doesn't look like it's that big on here, but when you cut it, it looks a bit bigger. But who doesn't love more glitter, right? So I've got a pretty good cut here, and what I'm going to do is put it back on my sticky mat. Direction does not matter. And take one of my weeding tools, not that one. I need the front hook, this guy, which I apparently need a new one of because I think that I bent it. Somehow, some way, it got a little bendy. So I just grabbed the corner here, and you see it pulled up. You can see where it pulled up right there, away from the sticky part. And then my son says that this is very satisfying, which it can be. So you just pull it back, and there you have your circles. Look how pretty and glittery that is. And you pull. This is one of the easier ones. If you've got lots of, like, again, swirlies, letters with holes like A's, O's, B's, you have to pull each center of that out. Can become very time consuming. And I hate touching the mats. It's just one of those, like, it feels weird to me moments. All right, so because I did not cut it in the same shape as my picture, I am actually going to move you guys over to my iron-on area. So first, I'm gonna cut these apart because I did not put them in the space that I wanted. Which is fine. I've got a pretty good eye for evenness. I don't know how. I can't cut in a straight line, but, you know, I can eyeball something and make sure it's straight. Weird, right? I think it's just the natural direction of my arm, the way that it goes, that makes me not be able to cut straight. All right, so I've got all of my pieces. I've got the shell and 6 pearls. I'm gonna move them over here. And I had to rearrange everything because I added a ton of jewelry stuff. We're working on a display for all of my jewelry stuff so that I don't have it taking up a lot of space over here. So I'm gonna turn my machine off. It makes this weird buzzing noise. Most people probably can't hear it, but I've got superwoman senses. Ask anyone around me. I hear things that people normally don't. All right, so moving you. So if you get motion sickness, don't look for the next like 5 seconds, okay? This is your warning. All right, moving you. Let's see, where can I put you so that you can see what I am doing here? Still moving, still moving. Still moving. I don't know where I'm going to put you. Hold, please. Crafting unedited. All right. Let's see here. There we go. That's a pretty good angle there. But I don't have anywhere to put you on. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. I hope you're still watching. Don't lose interest. I had all of this set up and then I didn't even think about where to put you. Ooh, that is a beautiful wreath that I'm working on. All right. That'll be one of the YouTube videos coming up. Bear with me. I know, I'm sorry. That's not going to work either. How does that work? Does that angle work for you? All right. No, because then you can't see what I'm doing. All right, it'll have to work for now. Sorry about that. So I have my shirt. This is, the customer brought me the shirt. And typically I will use my own shirts because I know the material. This might be a little tricky to work with because it's like the super soft, slinky type material. But I will make do. So I'm going to remove the tag so that I don't melt the tag. Turn on my heat press. I do have a Cricut heat press. You can use any regular iron, but I do not own an iron. I don't iron my clothes ever. If it's wrinkly, then I put it in the dryer. That's how I roll. All right, so I make sure that this is all clean. Shake out the shirt, make sure there's nothing laying on it. And then I like to stretch out my shirts or my material that I'm going to be ironing on. And because it is black, I highly recommend, one, using a lower setting. It will take a little longer for the product to set onto the shirt or to stick, glue, whatever you want to call it. But it will also not leave any indentations into the black material. Again, because it is a lighter, softer material, I will also be using wax paper. If not, it leaves like this white weirdness on it, and I'm not a huge fan. So while that heats up, I'm gonna place my little pearls, my gigantic pearls. But I feel like this works because Ursula is all about that gigantic life. Like everything that Ursula does. Little Mermaid is my all-time favorite Disney movie, and anyone in my household will tell you. I am obsessed with Ariel, and I would be a mermaid if I could. Honestly, I would. So I'm just gonna place these kind of rough draft style here. I will use a ruler to make sure that my measurements are roughly about right. That tells me that it's heated to 250, but I do want it to be at 300. And we'll go 275 because of the lighter material. So I can already tell that I kind of did this a little wonky. Yeah, I use wonky. One of those people. So I hope that you're still watching and that my moving you didn't get you that motion sickness. I should cut that part out, but that wouldn't be what I'm all about, right? All right, so go back to my little ruler. I have a fabric measuring tape here somewhere. I have no idea what I did with it, so I'm just gonna use my ruler. And kinda mainly go by the seam of the shoulder part of the shirt to measure the first gap. So on this side, I've got 1.5 inches, which I feel like is too much. Should probably just be 1 inch. Or roughly 1 inch. And then I'm gonna measure the amount of space between the neck seam and the pearl. About 1/2 inch, which is great. All right, and then I'll probably do 1 inch between, and we'll go 1/2 inch between each pearl. You wanna make sure that you do not overlap the glitter with the glue, the HTV with the sticky part of the other one. I've made that mistake before as well. It does not end up very fun because you'll glue the vinyl to the other one and it'll be fun to get apart. All right, there's 1/2 inch. Got too much of a gap there. And 1/2 inch? Yeah. And 1/2 inch. All right. And then I need my shell. This will go about here, I believe. See, an eye for it. I don't know. It just worked. All right. And as I measure this, I don't want any dead space. So if you have any suggestions as to what you'd like to see, what kind of tutorials you want me to do, I am open to suggestions. Like I said, I'm learning and I'm really doing this for you. I want to know what you want to see so that I can make sure that I am giving you content that keeps your interest and something that you want to see. So if I am doing something that you don't like, too bad. Sorry. But if I'm doing something that you like and you want to see more of, or that you just have an idea of what you want to see, tell me. I'll give you some tutorials. I have no problemo doing that. I would actually prefer that way than just kind of winging it and doing whatever I feel like doing. I'm very spontaneous. I can kind of go with the flow. Life is more fun when you fly by the seat of your pants. Everyone at my job will tell you that's how I roll. And probably at home. All right, so as soon as I have my spacing here, I'll get started on the rest. This one's being a butt. All right, so I have OCD sometimes when it comes to this stuff, and it's probably a good thing for my customers because it doesn't have to be perfect, which makes my stuff a little bit different, but it does have to kind of go ideally, I guess. So I want to show you, so I'm going to try to make these stick. So I have them all laid out in the way that I want. Don't know if you saw that, but they were starting to fall, so. All right. Lay the shirt back out. You want to lay it out so that it's completely flat. No wrinkles whatsoever, because whatever wrinkles, if there's wrinkles underneath the product, the vinyl, they're going to stay there forever unless you take the vinyl off, which is not ideal. So I've got that set. My Cricut is ready to go. Putting the wax paper on top. This avoids that, it just gives an extra layer so that if there's anything on here, it doesn't stick to here. Typically there isn't, but today there is. It's a little dusty because, like I said, I haven't used it. But to clean this, I will go over a tutorial on that later. Making sure all limbs are out of the way. I'm just going to set this here. Hit the start, hit the little Cricut logo, and it has a timer on it. I do like to add just a little bit of pressure to it. So for the glitter HTV, you want to have it at a little bit higher of a setting and give it a little bit more of a push because it is a thicker vinyl and it takes a little bit more for it to set. This is also a cold pull. I'll explain that in a minute. You don't want to pull this off when it's super hot. Like right now, I wouldn't go underneath it and pull it off. Because one, you'll burn your fingers off. Two, it's not going to work very well. It's actually going to stick to the backing of the sticky part of the plastic. I don't know what it's called, honestly. But it's going to stick to the other side. So I give it like maybe a minute or two, let it cool off a little bit, and then I will pull it off. So we'll just give it a couple more seconds. And then I like to make sure that it's really on there. So this one's had a few seconds. See, it's not stuck. So we'll go back over here. Again, because I have it on a lower setting, because of the material of the shirt, I do not want to melt the shirt. So we'll just take a little extra time to get the material stuck to the vinyl. That's all. And I decorated my heat press with some fun little stickers that I got in one of my scrapbooks, and it's super cute. I should have used a Cricut for that, but these were already cut and it made my life a little easier. All right, so I'll just scoot back over here, do this one again, and this should, hopefully, it is not sticking. So it's not doing what I want it to do yet, so I'm going to bump the temperature up. Trial and error. Oh, it won't let you bump it while it's cooking. Trial and error is a lot of what I do. I don't like to read instructions or go by instructions or watch people do things that I'm doing right now. So I learn my lessons the hard way most of the time. We're going to bump this up to 300 and kind of go back over. Give it a few more seconds to heat up. Sometimes you gotta give a little love, a little rubbing. So while that heats up, I'm gonna check this side. Getting there, almost. So sometimes I will pull off the plastic and just use the wax paper as a base. So I'm gonna go and burn my fingers here, but I wanna make sure that I have the shirt done for you guys. This one is just being a turd. It doesn't wanna stick. So my ironing board is a little wobbly, so I just hold it with one end. A little extra love in here. And yes, I stopped using the timer. I just go based on how I feel. All right, let's see how that does. And this little thing came with the Cricut. It's just like a cooling mat. Definitely useful. So let's see. There we go. We're making progress. See, it's still not fully stuck, which is totally fine. As long as I can get this plastic off, we're golden, because I will set the wax paper on top and make sure that it sets. Ooh, ow. Again, don't do what I do what I say. That's how I train all my any employees that I teach or anyone that I teach. So just to give you an idea of what it looks like right now, this is what it looks like. It is semi-set, but I am not happy with how it's kind of still not set in all the corners. So I'm going to take the wax paper and put it on top, and then go over it again with the heat press. Again, making sure there are no wrinkles. But see, I kind of missed the wax paper over here. So you've got like a little seam thing. I know exactly how to get rid of that. And the same thing with the collar. You can see where I pressed a little too hard. That's all right. I know how to get rid of it. And I'll show you my secrets. These are hard because it's right along the collar. Typically, I avoid the collar area for this reason. So we're just going to give it a little more love with the heat press. Again, avoiding getting it off of the wax paper. Not sure why wax paper though. It's heat resistant, I know that. And it's not going to catch on fire, which is great, right? It's always a plus. But it doesn't stick to the shirt, and it doesn't stick to the metal part. I don't know what that's called. The heating element doesn't stick to that. So that should be golden. I'm gonna turn that off. No, off, wrong button. So what I do to get rid of the seam, you see right here along the collar, how it has like a different color going on. Oops. Unedited. So I'm just gonna kind of fold it a little bit and then find my towel that I use just like a microfiber cleaning cloth, can be a washcloth, can be anything. As long as it's clean, doesn't matter. And I just kind of fold it and put my finger around it. Doesn't have to be this way, but it works for me. And I just take it and lightly rub along the edges where that discoloration has occurred. And it gets it off. So for the most part, I mean, it's not going to be perfect because of this material. It was a thinner material, so typically that means that I have melted some of the fibers. But you can get rid of that discoloration for sure. Ah, see? The microfiber is catching the glitter. But just kind of rubbing it off. I use these, if you have deodorant on your shirt, this is a fabulous way, or a sock even works. You just kind of, oh, got some deodorant on, just rub it right off. Comes right off. All right, so life hack. You got a bonus one. All right, so there you have it. An Ursula necklace costume. I also have made the earrings for this. Well, they're a work in progress, but I didn't have any shells, and I had a really difficult time finding the shells for this. So I just cut them out of some fabric that I had left over from my daughter's mermaid birthday party and made some little shell earrings. So these will have little dangly hoops, and they'll just kind of sit just like this. All right, so yes, I drew the design on these with the Cricut, but I did not cut them with the Cricut because I don't have the maker. And this does not like this material because it's too thick, which I kind of expected. No big deal, but I did draw the design so that I could use it as like a stencil. But I really hope that Jess, my customer, really likes her costume, and I really hope that you have enjoyed this show. Next, we will be doing a vinyl decal, which will go on this mug for a contest winner that I had the other day. So this will not be HTV. You can use HTV on glass. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's very time consuming. It doesn't work all the time. It does make them dishwasher safe, but again, not a huge fan of it. I'd rather just hand wash it and have it stick the way that I want it to without all of the headache. Plus, sometimes dishwashers aren't the best. I wash my dishes, then put them on the dishwasher. That's a whole nother story. But yes, up next we will be doing a regular vinyl decal transfer onto a cup. So you'll get to see that fun and exciting thing coming up probably this weekend or next week. Not sure. But I would definitely look out for it in the next couple of days. Again, I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so that you know when I am online or when I have posted something new. Have a fabulous day. I forgot my clicker. See? Have a fantastic day.